All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. If you thought I was excited yesterday, it's about to get crazier because we have a lot more earnings, and now I need to go over the earnings conspiracy. So we have a lot to talk about. I have a couple of plays. We have to go over the earnings today. You got a bunch of bank stocks. I think the reaction was quite wild, but for the most part, all you need to understand is that no earnings have upset, and tomorrow with Netflix and Tesla, it's about to be big. So I got that earnings preview. We'll go over some of the plays. I did some earnings plays, but now let me just jump right into it. Please like the video, okay? I love you, and hopefully I see you on stream, youtube.com/thestockmarket, but we have to get into it. The earnings conspiracy. I got two things that I want to show you. The first thing, we got to bring up Carvana. We were talking about this squeeze, remember the whole history, and just going through what brought it up here. Well, this is where it gets great, because today after hours, they announced, for no reason given, that they're going to move up their earnings to tomorrow. So literally after the bell today, they said, we're going to report tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., and we're going to do our press conference. Previously, it was expected to be August 3rd. So this is going to be interesting. It's also breaking, so I hope you are ready for this tomorrow. That's just one weird little earnings thing, but the main thing I wanted to tell you, it has to do with Google and Amazon. So shout out to Earnings Whisper. This is where I get those calendars. I've been using them for a very long time, but what they have highlighted was that so far in the earnings season, about 76% of the companies on the S&P, they have confirmed their earnings. But when it comes down to Google and Amazon, they have yet to confirm their earnings. So what does that mean? You probably see an earnings date for Google and Amazon. That is all an expectation. A lot of times companies will announce, they'll put out an 8K or a filing or on their website and give a formal announcement and confirm their earnings date. That's why today with Carvana, instead of confirming the expected date, they moved it up until tomorrow, which is wild. That one's going to be great. But in the case of Google and Amazon now, this is the longest in the last 5 years that they have spent to actually confirm their earnings date. So here is the earnings conspiracy. Why is everybody taking so long? Are we going to see more people move things? But that's actually not the real conspiracy. It's just a fun fact. But the real conspiracy is, did we already have the earnings run up? So if you didn't see what happened today, we went up again, and that's why we could talk about what happened. There was some ECB news in the morning that was positive. There wasn't too bad of China news, if anything, kind of holding the line and calming some of the bad news over the last couple of days. But the market hit another high today. Companies like Netflix, if you did not see that, I mean, they just ran up another $20, 5%. Microsoft came out with crazy AI pricing news that they're going to be making like 50% more per client. It's even above their top estimates. I mean, some people are saying like 20% increase on cloud because of this. This is one of those breakthrough AI moments today. So there was all of these effects and all of these moves, and this is what we have been saying now. If these companies are about to start reporting tomorrow and next week, and some of them haven't even confirmed yet, is this last $100 on Netflix, is it still going to move the 10% priced in? Even Tesla, they are approaching $300. I mean, just in the last 2.5 weeks, they're like just under $100. I guess you give it another 2 weeks, it'd be about like $100 move. So these companies have moved a lot. They're all reporting tomorrow, but they are all pricing in like 10%. So this is the real question that we are going to start getting the answer for. After Tesla and Netflix tomorrow, it will start getting the sentiment. All of those IV plays, you may start seeing them react. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed it and are ready for earnings, but I gave you the little mini recap as we mixed it in there. Again, that Microsoft news was very big today, but as far as the bank earnings now, Schwab actually killed it. That was, you could call it regional or not, but trading, net interest, they killed it. They went up. CEO was like, yeah, I bought the dip, son. So he loved it. Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, everything was kind of mixed. I didn't really like the bank earnings, but you'll see it like companies like State Street, they had bad earnings. They were a regional, they dropped. This was a regional, they got killed. gold, even they started to bounce today. PNC, they came out today, and I don't think their report was good. They were like, yeah, even our deposits and net interest is like everything's pretty bad in that sense. The stock was down, and then it got bought up. So Bank of America, I think they did good on net interest, and I don't know how their trading did or IB, but then Morgan Stanley investment banking did good. I think their trading did bad, and then net interest, they were in the middle, but it's pretty much one bank good, one bank bad. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and everybody just keeps buying them. Pretty much there hasn't been bad news, and so far the reactions have been decent, but that was the recap as far as the bank stocks. I think you had Novartis earnings. I think that was it. UNH was big. Remember UNH a couple days ago, but Novartis, I think that one was today. Then as far as the rest of the earnings for tomorrow, there was a couple after hours. I didn't even look at these yet. It just really was all regionals today, but in the morning we're going to get Goldman, ASML for chips. So this is where things are going to start moving a little bit bigger of the banks, but so far big banks, regionals, as long as nobody breaks anything, that's kind of what we're waiting for as far as that's concerned. But then after hours, more banks, IBM, travel, more travel with LVS, and then Netflix and Tesla, and then the next day TSM, and then the weeks after that it's going to be all the big ones. But very straightforward. We did have one very big development in the yen. If you were there live, we were calling it out because it was pretty wild how it played out, but Bank of Japan, Ueda, finally made a statement today. Last time we heard from him earlier in the week, he didn't even comment towards this YCC rumor. Today, he was talking about the inflation goal of 2%, said we're not quite there. That was pretty bearish towards that. It dropped, and it kind of held a little better than expected. I think it held a gain, surprisingly, but the bonds were green, and I think that's what took us down a little bit. Not to mention there was retail sales data. I think headline came in below. The control group, which is like the core retail sales, excluding autos and all that, that did good. But for the most part, I don't think there was a reaction tomorrow. That home building data, you might get something bigger, but I think you're going to have a lot bigger earnings after hours. And now the market's kind of been doing that, same melt up of earnings we're really going to see tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe we don't move, and maybe we finally get one of those days of earnings and doing nothing. But at this point, I think we could hit like 15 all-time highs if we keep doing this by the end of the month. So we'll see what happens, but this ties into the play, so let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got a couple plays, and they relate to earnings, and I am hoping we don't do much tomorrow, but the beauty is you can focus on a lot of these earnings plays. So that brings me to the first one. I have yet to make a play on it. We've been talking about it, and I finally decided to do it today, right before the close, at like 30 minutes, but even then, that one still cost me. But I short Netflix shares. I did that today. I took 50 shares short at around 472, and my logic is just close this before they report tomorrow. It was pricing in about 8 or 9% in the morning when we checked, and then it moved up another 5%. I think today was half, if not all, of the earnings move. So what I'm expecting tomorrow is that if it does have one of those cuck days and does nothing, maybe it chills out and we get the earnings run up, but to the downside. If not, I will have to pay the fee for speculating, and they punch me in the face. So we'll see, but that is play number one. Definitely watch out for that. That's the play that we did today. Then play number two. This one I'm a little conflicted about. One, it's bad for the world, if you heard me say that today, but corn. So wheat as well, they started coming back up. Remember, we were just talking about it. Like, even though they were like, oh, the Black Sea grain deal is going to raise prices. Yesterday, they were 1.5% lower than Friday. So things went up today. I think corn went up like 6% at one point. Even wheat started to bounce. The question is now, do you get out? If you got it when we got it, there's already literally 6-7% gains on the futures. It's a nice one. But the question is whether or not this volatility persists from here on out. So I'm cool with taking the gains, but I'm also cool with riding it. Why I'm bringing it up, so you can understand it very simply. It is all going to be based on that news. We've been talking about it on these videos, so I'm bringing it up once again because that's really going to drive the play. And just keep in mind some of the commodity delays you've seen with the news. Keep in mind oil and natural gas and oil. It's the best example to look for. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm ready to take profits, but I also think there's going to be more volatility because we haven't heard what is going to happen next, and that's pretty much what your money will be riding on. So watch out for that. That is play number two. And then finally, play number three. Bad timing with this one. I took another one of those earnings downside plays on Microsoft. I ended up grabbing, which ones? Let's go to the option chain right here. I grabbed these in the morning. I grabbed the 265s. I kept it smaller than the $300 ones yesterday, but I figured I didn't grab Microsoft and Apple. I grabbed these in the mornings. I got 5 of the 265s. I think I spent like 37 cents for them. So this one actually went down, but all those other options, here's the Meta one from yesterday, even after the rally. This is what I'm talking about in terms of IV. Pretty much the same price. I think it's 1 penny lower. The Amazons actually went up from when we bought them. Even throughout the day, they were holding up. And then what was the last one? Google, I think. Those ones break even. They were up a little bit on the day. So this is what I meant by the IV ones. I added the Microsoft ones in the morning and they got crushed. Still in the Airbnbs, and then just going to ride out through the yen and all that. But I just think earnings will be the focus. Tesla, I'm going to play right after. And then Netflix, we are going to close that play before and then hopefully play it right after. And even then, if you don't know the expectations, all that matters tomorrow for Tesla, because all of those delivery numbers came out. It's just going to boil down to the margin. So we already know the deliveries, even they've got the Cybertruck news and all of that, but margin's going to be the big key. I think they're pricing in 7.7. The last 4-quarter moves have been a loss of 10%, a gain of 11%, a loss of 7%, and the last earnings, they went up 10%. Revenue has beaten 15 of the last 20 quarters, and EPS has beaten 15 of the last 20 quarters, but I don't think anybody's going to care about that. It's all going to come down to the margin, some of those delivery numbers, and then as long as there's nothing bad to kind of, unjustify the extra $100 or $50 some of these have moved. So that's for Tesla. As far as Netflix, they're pricing in about like 8% move. The last 4-quarter move, starting from the latest, was a loss of 3%, a gain of 8, a gain of 13, and a gain of 7. So last 3 quarters in a row, they have been going up on earnings. Revenue has beaten 10 of the last 20 quarters. 2 have been in line, and EPS has beaten 14 of 20. But now Netflix does not give guidance numbers on the amount of subscribers. That's what the analysts start to guess, and that's where I think it's going to be really important. So this isn't from the company. This is an average of analysts out right now. It's looking that total streaming memberships is expected to be 234.74 million, and the guidance for next quarter is going to be 240 total paid memberships. So that's like an addition of 5 million for next quarter's guidance, and then for this quarter, analysts are looking for 2 million ads. And that's a high number considering a lot of the analysts have worked their way up here as the price rollouts have played out. So I think Netflix, all those numbers, we're going to be there after hour. I would play those afterwards if you want to go for some of the pre-volatility. Got one on Netflix. Once we start getting after these earnings tomorrow, Chad, it's going to be crazy. So I hope you're ready and locked in, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, bring the don't leave it at home and do not get demoralized. That's it. How you get demoralized, that will define a lot about not only life, but your investing career. And if you want to do the test, are you getting demoralized over little things? Big things make sense sometimes, but little things, oh, that's a good test right there. But Chad, stay in the game. You've gone too far to go back now. You've learned a lot of lessons. You've seen the up and down, and then we got more work to go and no victory laps because nothing's over. You still got 7 more months, Chad, so I hope you're ready for it. But I love you. Drink that water, hydrated, healthy, and get ready for earnings. That's it. You like this shirt? Huh? You like that? Yeah, it's not this is a fitting for all of the things I've been called over the years on the internet, screaming it. Amen. So it's I love you. That was crazy. Okay, Horde. Bye. I'll see you soon. Okay, get ready.